So you've heard of vinyl, you've heard of fiberglass, you've heard of composite, but what if there was a company out there that took all of those components and put them together in a perfect solution for a mid-market window? We're talking about the Forgent Series by Kolbe, specifically the double hung window. Let's get started on the inside. Glastra. What is Glastra? Glastra is this PVC shredded fiberglass pultrusion that Kolbe has come up with that allows them to have a very rigid product that is workable and has a ton of benefits and a ton of options. Kolbe's all about engineering, Kolbe's all about technology, and they really hit a home run on this. So I have a double hung that's all Glastra, and then I have a double hung that is wood Glastra. Now this one is bronze, and it has their beige interior here on the inside. And then this one's white all throughout. So you can get a wrap on it like you see here. And if we do the inside and the outside, they can match that wrap all the way around or have it be a different color on the inside if it's all Glastra. But one of the most important things when you talk about this window is the fact that it's the same window, whether it's all Glastra or it's wood Glastra. It's just a matter of how are you finishing the inside. All Glastra, you could see the stop here on the sash, the glazing bead, and then the interior finish is all Glastra, right? They have the option of wood Glastra. So say you wanted a painted wood interior or you wanted a stained wood interior, that's available. Same window, same sight lines, just a different finish application on the inside. You can see there's that wood veneer on the sash and that wood veneer that goes over the sill stop. There's different ways to finish the inside with extension jambs or a drywall return, but it's the same window. And we're gonna touch on this with the exterior review, but this is important. And the reason why this is important is, say you have a shower on a house. You want all the windows to be that wood Glastra. Well, that's great, but in a shower, a lot of times folks don't want to have to deal with a window that's wood on the inside because they don't want to deal with the moisture or any of that. You can do an all Glastra window in one location, do the rest wood Glastra, and it's going to have the same look because it's the same window. Really thoughtful, really well thought out on that. Look at all the chambers that are in that window. All those chambers add to the energy performance. Additionally, all those chambers, when that welds together, like you see here, all those chambers are welded together. This is extremely strong, extremely rigid, way stronger than vinyl, way stronger than fiberglass, and that weld will hold. You can see these are the performance ratings of how much stronger it is than vinyl, how much stronger it is than fiberglass. It's really something to be impressed with when it comes to the engineering that Kolbe put forward. Now, what's the big deal with that sash pultrusion there? When you look at all those chambers that are in there, well, here's an example of a Marvin Elevate. That would be probably the closest in the market toe-to-toe example of what Forgent versus another brand would be. Marvin Elevate compared to Forgent Wood Glastra, that would be the closest. You can clearly see which one is superior, which one is more rigid, which one really will stand up much better than the other, just by looking at those two side by side. You have that one pultrusion, that one hollow airspace versus all those chambers, all that technology, all that quality and strength put behind it. It's kind of a no-brainer, but a lot of options on the inside. You can stain a bunch of different colors that you can see here. You can paint, you can get it primed, or you can get it all Glastra and not have to worry about any of it. A great way to save some money on a project, but still get a high quality look is to do an all Glastra window. So it's white on the inside, and then do the extension jamb a pre-finished color or a primed color. So you have that wood interior for the trim to attach to. Really a cool option there as a way to get a high quality window at a pretty affordable price point. One of the other benefits to the Forgent double hung, whether it's all Glastra or wood Glastra, is it's available as new construction, like you can see here with this integrated nailing fin, or it's available as a replacement window, as a pocket window. So say you're doing an addition, you could do replacements on the existing house, You could do new construction on the addition, and it's all gonna be the same product. It's all gonna be the same material. And that's really the benefit to this, is that it's the same material across the board with their product. As far as performance goes, you can do a bunch of different glazing options with Kolbe. Really, sky's the limit when it comes to opportunity with Kolbe, whether it's the Forgent series or a Forgent complementary product, which we're going to get into in a little bit. But low E glazing, low E 366, a lot of different options out there for the glazings to really amp up whatever performance needs you have here. They do a stainless steel spacer in the middle. You can do the option of a black spacer. I think that's a nice option that's available. And one of the real benefits here on the inside is that it's a dry glazed product. Because it's a dry glazed product, it's extremely serviceable, a very easy window. If anything ever breaks or anything like that, say somebody shoots a golf ball or a rock or a baseball through the glass, very simple solution. The stop just gets pulled off, and because it's dry fit with this gasket here, like a car window, it's just gonna pop right out and a new one is replaced in. So really a workable window, a high quality window. And when you get into the details, it's something that from an engineering perspective, as well as the view, it's a beautiful looking window. So we got into the real nitty gritty details. Let's check out the actual full view of a window from the inside. Here's a full view of the inside. This is the wood Glastra, same exact window, all Glastra, right? So you can have extension jambs and doing basically maintenance-free interior by doing all Glastra. If you're thinking about white, it's a great way to save a little bit of money. Or if you really want that wood look, they'll do a pre-finished paint on it. They'll do pre-finished white, pre-finished black, different stains, whatever you like, and add an extension jamb to do whatever fits for your project. But it's the same exact window, the same exact sight lines going across for both windows. It's the same product, the same high quality product, not like a Marvin Essential to a Marvin Elevate, which are two very different products. This is the same exact window across the board, high quality product, really a great product when it comes to their engineering, but a beautiful view. And when you look at this as that kind of mid-grade window option, comparing it to a 400 series tilt wash by Andersen or a Marvin Elevate, it really just lends itself nicely with the wood interior on there, the lift that they have at the check rail, and the jam carriers that go along with it. Now, these Glastra jam carriers are always gonna be there. This one's white on the outside, so you have a white jam carrier. If you had some other color options available, this would be like a beige color if you were choosing some other options. Now, with that, is there some limitation on that? Is that something that we're like, hey, we're crazy about that? Not necessarily crazy about it, but when we're talking about this league of window, when we're comparing that to an Andersen tilt wash window, an Andersen tilt wash window is gonna have the same type thing. It's gonna have these compression jam liners to allow the window to tilt, which there's gonna be clips that are gonna have to go down to push those compression liners back to allow the window to tilt in place. Kolbe Forgent, much cleaner, much nicer operating window in the sense that those jam carriers are just kind of behind the scenes. Yes, is it white? Is it there? Of course it is. However, to lift that window up, it's just simple and easy to tilt it in. There's no clips, there's no compression liner where people use like dowel rods to be able to tilt the window in. It's just right there, two little clips, and it tilts right in. One of the other benefits, and this could kind of be, I know we're talking inside, and this is kind of an inside feature, it's kind of an outside feature in the sense that it's a weather stripping here that goes in between the upper and lower sash. Now that adds security, adds performance, and really helps hold that window together for the test of time. You have that window locked in place by having that astragal there, that weather strip at the bottom and the top. It's going to have that window perform, and that's just gonna grab together just like that. It's gonna make it a nice, solid, rigid product that's gonna seal it from the elements, keeping the inside comfortable, exactly the way you want it. So Simulated divided light is an option there. They do a 7/8 bar. This is the profile that's available on Forgent, and you can mix and match patterns and all that good stuff. If you want to do grills in the glass are available. They'll do a 3/4 inch grill between the glass, and they'll mix and match colors just like anything else you'd like to do there. But it's really just a very simple looking window. The way it all comes together, that mortise and tenon joinery there with the little beveled edge here and that step. There's a lot of nice little touches to this window that gives it some architectural flair from the inside. It's substantial at the check rail. It kind of boasts that strength that we've talked about in those section details. It looks like a strong window because it is a strong window. So we've talked about the inside, we've talked about the section details. Let's get into the exterior and what makes the Forgent double hung so special. So we talked about the inside and all those features and benefits, but on the outside, there's a lot to discuss when it comes to the Forgent double hung by Kolbe. Now, the first thing to start with is what it's made of on the outside. Glastra. Now that combination gives you a lot of benefits. Again, the strength and durability of a fiberglass product bolstered with the workability of that vinyl gives you this AccuForge weld, which is really a great weld that they put on there. It's an ultra strong product because of all those multi-chambers in the sash. Additionally, there isn't that spillage that you typically see with a vinyl product when they weld it together. The seams tend to be a little sloppy. You don't see that on the Forgent. Now this one's white on the outside, but they get into colors, and on the colors it's a wrap on the outside of that window. With that wrap, it's just sealed in there. It's not like a vinyl window where they would seal that together and then have to put a touch-up paint, which always looks a little unsightly. Because they do this high quality wrap on it that actually competes in the realm of an AMA 2605 aluminum clad performance wise, it's gonna look that color for a long time. The Glastra product is stronger than vinyl, stronger than composite. It's really something to admire from an engineering perspective. All the chambers that are within that sash, all connected together, all working in one piece, really allows you to have a very high performing, a really structurally sound window. The disadvantages of your typical vinyl window is that contraction and expansion. The advantages of a vinyl window is the workability. They have the benefits of that. The advantage of a fiberglass window is the insulating properties, and the disadvantage of fiberglass is it can't be welded, that it has to be mechanically assembled. They snap them together, they screw them together, and that's how that works. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds with something like Glastra. It's really a substantial product, and when we talk about the exterior, it's important to think about other brands and how do they work, other brands, when it comes to an all Glastra product or a Glastra wood product, right? We talked about the different interior options. What's cool about this is it's the same window. So say you want a wood interior, right? From the exterior, it looks great, right? But say you have a shower, and in the shower, you don't want to have a wood window on that. You want to have that Glastra material. So it's a maintenance-free interior. You don't have to worry about humidity or moisture or anything like that by doing Glastra on the inside. A lot of other manufacturers out there, like say a Marvin, where you go from Marvin Essential to Marvin Elevate, and with that material on the outside, that pultruded fiberglass, it's going to look different, those two series. So if you would have the whole outside in their Elevate series, but you have one, for a bathroom that you're trying to do a fiberglass inside and out, it would be a completely different sight line, and it doesn't look like the same window because it's not. That's where the Forgent really stands ahead of many of the others out there, engineering-wise, as well as the visuals, that this one's all Glastra and this one's Glastra wood. Those two together, it is literally the same exact window. It's just the stops on the inside are a little bit different. So things like that are a real benefit when it comes to their window. Comes in multiple colors, multiple sizes. They'll do SDL bars on the outside. They'll do grills in the glass. You can mix and match patterns, do whatever you'd like with that. And they'll do a stainless steel spacer, or they'll do a black spacer on the inside. I think there's a lot of touches that are available with the Forgent series that work with Kolbe, which brings you to Kolbe complementary products. So if you say, hey, we love this, but there's a few things on our project that aren't available in Forgent, well, you can kind of have your cake and eat it too, that Kolbe has Forgent Complementary by Kolbe. Forgent Complementary by Kolbe, if there's some, bifold door or something like that, they'll match some of the profiles, features, colors that are available with Forgent on their Ultra Series product. So there's ways to kind of tie a project in together and save money and get a high performing window. So we talked about the weld, we talked about the material, the SDL bars on the outside, multiple color options on the outside, and it's really just a clean window. It's a window that on the outside, there's not a lot of different parts and pieces. This is gonna kind of compete with that Andersen 400 series tilt wash. It's the same material on the outside, where some of the other competitors out there, like an Andersen tilt wash, it's gonna be a vinyl mainframe, a composite Fibrex material sill, a painted wood sash, a vinyl glazing bead that sits flat and doesn't have that architectural step there like this does here. There's a lot to be said about this window in the price point that it's at, in the market that it's at. I think it really is a window that will fight to give you a long-term value, but still a pretty high-end look. I'd like to thank you for taking the time to look at this window. I think the double hung by Forgent really stands in a class of its own because it's kind of its own thing. There's nothing really else out there that's exactly like it. If you'd like help with your project, if we can assist you in any way, please contact us, info@monmouthmillwork.com, and let's get started.